Hi, I'm here today to talk to you about NAVA. What is NAVA? NAVA is neurally adjusted ventilatory assist ventilation. It provides ventilatory assistance to patients in proportion to and in synchrony with their own respiratory efforts. This mode of ventilation is used primarily in neonates, so you're going to see it more often in those NICUs when you're there for clinicals. But the biggest advantage to using NAVA is actually being able to be in better synchrony with your patient. This is going to help us lead to a decrease in number of days that they're actually on the ventilator. NAVA can also be used non-invasively, which is even better because we don't have to intubate our patients, but we can still help with their breathing and, again, primarily in neonates, so, a lot of your preemies and that, so we're just kind of waiting for them to grow. One of the biggest disadvantages, though, I would say on NAVA is that you actually have to have a servo-I ventilator to do it. It is the only ventilator that has a NAVA function on it currently. It does require the use of a special catheter, and this catheter is placed usually orally and down into the stomach, just like your orogastric tubes. But then you can see in this picture with the catheter, it's called an EDI catheter. Number one, that's the catheter. Number two shows the esophageal wall. Number three shows the diaphragm. And then number four is the stomach. So you can see the catheter then coming down through the esophagus, and you'll see those little black lines that are on there. Those black lines are measuring the EDI signal. Okay, those are actually electrodes, all those little black lines. So you can see we actually want those at the level of the diaphragm because we're picking up the signal sent from the diaphragm as the patient wants to breathe, and our neurons send signals down to the diaphragm telling it to go ahead, it's time to breathe. This EDI catheter picks those signals up and tells our ventilator that the patient wants to breathe. So we have better synchrony with our patient. Dr. Howard Stein is a pioneer of NAVA, and he actually is right here from our area in Toledo, Ohio. He currently practices there. And I just, let's hear a few words from Dr. Stein on NAVA and what he has to say.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is talk about what this NAVA level is. We know that it's a proportionality constant. That what it does is it converts the electrical activity of the diaphragm into a pressure. But it's a really hard concept to stand at the bedside and really talk about. It really is a distribution of work. The higher the NAVA level, the more work of breathing the ventilator is going to assume, and the lower the NAVA level, the more work of breathing the patient is going to assume. The trick is to unload the work of breathing from the patient to the ventilator without overdoing it. So what we're going to try and do is find the sweet spot between too much support and too little support.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Stein. I hope you've gained a basic understanding of NAVA over the past few minutes. We'll take a more in-depth look as we get farther into our mechanical ventilation class later on in this semester. But until then, let's change the world one breath at a time.